Hi, listening to another episode of the Renegade podcast. I'm speaking to the one and only Journey to the Other Side. You know, he's a YouTuber that discusses cryptic stuff and paranormal stuff, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Thunderbird, all that wacky stuff. And yeah, the interview's going to start. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello! Hello? Hello?
Hello, you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you real good. How you doing?
Good. I'm good, how are you?
Pretty good myself. How's the last week been for you, man? I know you've been uploading some videos all around your social media accounts.
It's been good, Enjoyed the 4th. Nothing too crazy. Yourself?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of... it's been busy for sure. I mean, I think it was a couple of days ago. I had to go in downtown to do something, and then I had to, I run my podcast and record all these interviews, and I'm editing. I'm doing all that stuff. So yeah, it's been interesting for sure. I'm thankfully I have more freedom now, because I graduated from, Humber Polytechnic for broadcast radio. Convocation is going to be in a couple months. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Now I have all the time in the world to sort of go all in on something that I'm pretty good at. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. The first question I want to ask is, how did you get into sort of making videos about, paranormal stuff, cryptids, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, all that stuff? How did you get interested in all that stuff?
So my first video went up July 16th, 2019.
Yeah.
So just under 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So around that time, I've my whole life, I've always kind of been interested in paranormal stuff. Cryptids started more around 2018-ish, 2019-ish.
Yeah.
There's this one YouTuber he went by the name Matt Squatch Presents.
Yeah.
He covered Bigfoot, Dogman, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was watching all of his stuff. There were topics he didn't cover, no one else was covering, so I thought, well, if you want a job done right?
Okay.
He actually stopped uploading right after I started. So
Interesting.
I don't know what that's about.
Interesting. So can you tell me the story behind the channel's name and the logo? Because it's a pretty interesting name for a channel like yours,
Yeah. Journey to the Other Side, it was the idea that when you're watching my videos, it's the unexplained, what they'd say, the paranormal, the supernatural.
Yeah.
What some people call beyond the veil. You watch one of my videos, you're kind of taking a journey to the other side.
Okay.
And dwelling in the world of mystery. And the logo was designed by a good friend of mine.
Okay.
When I started.
Okay, interesting. Is this your full-time job, or is this a side thing?
Yeah, I don't like to give away too much about myself. But
yeah,
this is a side.
Okay. Okay, I was just curious. So
Yeah. No, completely understandable.
Okay, interesting. So, when you were younger, what was the first instance of you being interested in this type of stuff to begin with?
Very first instance, I would have to think. I was always interested in the more spooky stuff, the really old, the Headless Horseman Disney movie.
Yeah.
If my grandparents had the video, I think every time when I went over as a kid, I must have seen it 100 times. I was into all the spooky stuff.
Yeah.
There's one video I covered, I swear to this day, I was at my grandparents'. I heard a ghost or something, and I don't know any other way to describe it. I was very young. I don't know exactly, somewhere between 3 and 8, so a bit of a range. But, I was just, I was staying in my aunt's old room, and I just heard this voice.
Yeah.
It was telling this really, it was kind of like a fairy tale, but it was way too dark. It's not like a story you'd ever tell a kid. It was really dark, really grisly. And the voice was just coming from somewhere. And it was not the voice of anyone in the house. It was not a voice I'd ever heard before. And, to this day, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
But that's probably the start of my whole obsession. with all things paranormal.
Interesting. So, the one thing I find interesting about your content is that you don't speak much in your videos. You just kind of like, you show something. Like, your Instagram content is pretty interesting because it would just have like it would be like a video or something. It would be like, it would be like a bunch of words on top. It would be like two black sort of screens type of thing, right? And I find that very interesting because I think that style to me is better than somebody just over explaining something for like 25, 30 minutes when somebody could just look it up and they'll just, they'll recognize it right away,
Thank you. Well, I'm not a guy who likes to use, more words than are necessary and pad stuff out.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time with like Instagram and TikTok type stuff, it's just showing the clip and a little backstory with the text.
Okay.
If I'm going to make an actual video, then you'll hear my voice because I give my breakdowns.
Yeah.
Like my thoughts on stuff, whether I think it's real or fake.
Okay. Interesting. So, the thing about the paranormal and supernatural is that I feel like there's three sides to the conversation. There's one side who believes that all that stuff is not real. It's, maybe it's someone's mental trauma or it's some sort of unexplained natural occurring event that we don't really understand or something else. There's the other side who believes it's all real and they have this perception of the world where the world's out to get them, and it's very negative. It's sort of, they lash out against anybody else who disagrees. And there's the middle side where, like, okay, most stuff isn't real, but there's some things that just don't make any sense, and I'm right in that middle. I'm not gonna deny that stuff like that can happen, but I'm not gonna obsess over it and ruin everybody else's lives over it. That type of thing.
Yeah, I would say it's not so much three sides as it is like a spectrum. So if we were to have like a 0 on the spectrum is doesn't believe in anything supernatural, like if you can't turn out like 15 scientific studies for whatever you're saying, they won't believe you. And a 10 is like thinks Elvis and Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster play poker with aliens 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I would say I'm probably a 7 on that, or maybe an 8 on that scale.
Interesting. So, have you ever like scrapped a video?
I've never scrapped a video. I don't think I've ever scrapped a video. I've had scripts where I've said I'll come back to this someday. And, sometimes that's been years later, but I've never really said, okay, I'm just not gonna do anything with this.
Interesting. So, the other thing that I find interesting about your channel is that it actually kind of reminds me of this show back in the day. It had like William Shatner. He was like this host. I think it was on Detour or History Channel or something like that. It talks about like, it sort of talks about, you're talking about like they'll bring on people who think they experience certain things, and he's gonna like kind of like, okay, break it down. Okay, is this real? Is it fake? And there's always some historical like element to it. I feel like what you're doing is kind of like a more elevated version of that. I don't know if you heard of that show.
The Unexplained.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Any comparison to Captain Kirk is high praise indeed.
Yeah. Interesting. Have you ever, like, you said, you probably saw a ghost when you were younger, but have you ever encountered something like that was just sort of out of the ordinary recently or even years before when you were older?
Beyond that, I'm from New Jersey, and there's a lot of paranormal type stuff here. There's the Jersey Devil, obviously.
Yeah.
You get so many ghost reports. So there are places they say are like haunted. I visited. There's a tree called the Devil Tree where they say if you touch it, you'll become cursed. I did touch it for a video. So. I don't think my luck got too much worse after, but there's nothing where I would firmly state like I haven't seen a Bigfoot with my own eyes. There's nothing I would put like on that level.
Okay.
Have you experienced something?
Okay. The thing about, I want to sort of like pivot to Bigfoot, because Bigfoot is sort of, it's taken its own sort of weirdly memey cultural meaning now. Like, because back in the day, Bigfoot was treated like it was like an actual event. Like, people would like literally be camping in forests and parks waiting for it to come out. When it never came out, they still do it because sort of the kind of confirmation bias is, okay, there's certain things. There's rustled leaves, and there's footprints, and maybe a story from back in the day. Somebody got eaten by Bigfoot or something like that. Do you think now people have like kind of wisened up on that type of stuff, or because I don't think that has really been the case. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get political here, but like I look at who's leading the country essentially for the last like almost decade, and it feels like people can't really talk about certain things like that without people getting into a fight now.
Well, I mean, political polarization in that sense has objectively, there's less crossover voting. We are farther apart than we were previously.
Yeah.
But in terms of Bigfoot, so, you know how Google can, like, show you the usage of a certain word over time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you look, the 60s and 70s were a huge boom period for Bigfoot. Like, we haven't really matched that.
Yeah.
In recent years, I think the internet has brought a lot of people together, and I think what's actually been very good for Bigfoot research is if someone, obviously, I 100% believe these exist. Do you? Just out of curiosity.
Okay. Huh?
Do you believe in Bigfoot? I won't be hurt if you say no.
I think, here's the thing, right? I'm kind of like, okay, I think a creature like that probably existed like prehistoric times.
Oh, that's, there's something called the Gigantopithecus. That's, like, confirmed for a fact it existed. There's no.
Yeah, but now, see, here's the thing, right? It's like, it's like a spectrum, right? Like, would it shock me something like that existed? I think something like that wouldn't really be an actual species. It would be like a micro species where like only a couple of those things exist, and maybe somebody caught them on camera. Somebody heard a story from somebody. They sort of made up the whole lore about it. But I probably say no. Now, no. But back in the day, probably yeah. Like millions or thousands of years ago, probably they existed.
Okay. So I think what's good about the internet is if someone has seen a Bigfoot, it lets them share their story anonymously.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you tell people you saw a lot of people are going to think you're crazy. It could, damage your reputation. It could even damage your career.
Yeah.
With the internet, these stories can be shared anonymously, and I think,
I
think that's been good. So,
yeah.
And you can talk with other people, and even if you felt crazy for thinking you saw this, it's good to be able to do that.
Yeah. Interesting. What, like, when you start sort of, because you have a pretty good following on Instagram, pretty good following on, on TikTok, on YouTube. When did you start, when you start blowing up and the subscribers are in the tens of thousands, like, how do you, like, process that now? Like, do you have an obligation to your audience, or do you just keep doing what you're doing no matter what, no matter who's watching?
I wouldn't say I fully perform for an audience of one, but, I do try and see, like, what people like, and, I try to do more of that type of content. If anyone just requests a video, I'll usually see if it's something I can do. Plus, it's another idea. In terms of processing it, with the TikTok, this woman, so back in 2020, a woman in California sent me some potential Bigfoot footage.
Okay.
And when I just made a TikTok, I had like 10 followers on TikTok at this point, so I posted it in the morning. It didn't really go anywhere. I had like notifications off, so I just forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then later that night, I opened up TikTok, and it was at 20,000 views, which at that point, that was a crazy number. I think it finished around 2 million views.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a crazy night.
Damn. Interesting. So So the thing about the supernatural and paranormal is his thing. Like, I'm Muslim, right? And there's certain things that Muslims should avoid, right? Obviously, that's like that's in every religion, right?
Yeah.
And there is no. I always believe that there's always been certain things that, like, think about, like, I don't know, the Middle East, right? There's trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars all those leaders and tycoons and oil people have over there, right? And people talk about, and I really feel like, again, a lot of because here's the thing, do you freaking like Reddit?
I'm ashamed to say I do.
Okay. okay.
No,
So you must have seen conspiracy subreddit, you must have seen Bigfoot and paranormal, all that stuff. The one thing I don't like about those things is, like, it's always U.S. centric, right? There's not, again, think about this for a second, right? A lot of the posts that talk about, leaders and all, like, they always talk about the political people over there, and they try to tie it into this sort of concoction that somehow involves the U.S. to be the most important nation on planet Earth, which it is. But on the other hand, it's like you're sort of glossing over everything. You're sort of generalizing over it. You're sort of watering it down, for an audience that might not want to sort of look at the other side. Funny enough, right? And there is this legend, and I think it's in the UAE, in the Middle East, where have you heard of Umar al-Dawis?
No, I've not.
Okay, so it's kind of an underground culture of witchcraft in the Middle East. There is, right? Not because I've seen it myself, but I heard stories about it. There's YouTubers document them in real time, and obviously that's forbidden over there. You get caught there, your life is kind of over by that point, right? And this legend has existed for thousands and thousands of years, for maybe even longer than that. And it goes like this, right? So supposedly, it's a she. So she was, again, a spirit, or she's a demon, okay? And she hunts on impressionable men that are walking around in the night in the Arabian desert looking for trouble. You see her, most people just tell you to walk away, like run. But some people got a little too close, and it's because again, the whole thing is that it's supposed to hypnotize you, essentially. Because the way that she's dressed like it's all black or all white. She has, like, again, long hair. It's essentially at their version of what an attractive woman looks like back in the day. Maybe I still think it kind of applies to it right now, right? And her whole appearance changes like that, like a snap. She becomes literally her feet become like donkey feet, and her eyes become like pitch black or hollowed out, and she transforms into like a hag, and she's kind of like, essentially, she kills you or she devours you whole, and obviously I don't think that's real, but I do think that, because think about this, right? Like, because MK Ultra, that's been a big talking point in conspiracy circles forever, because that's been confirmed to actually happen, right? And I'm like, you're telling me in the richest countries in the world, down in the Middle East, you're telling me that they have not attempted to do something like that? There isn't an Area 51 down there where they have caught, because that's the thing too. Quite a few people, I think it was in Iran and Iraq, have said over the decades they have seen unidentified flying objects, right? There's been so many of these stories, folk tales, urban legends, that hasn't really been talked about. There's only one channel that actually dives into this and with full-on detail, documentary style. Have you heard of the Mysterious Middle East?
It rings a bell.
Huh?
It rings a bell.
Yeah. They talk about that stuff in detail, right? And I'm like, that's the thing. The thing is that, and it's not just the Middle East. I mean, I heard Indonesia has some crazy cryptids and paranormal stuff going on over there in terms of the story and stuff like that. I mean, there's this one that's called the Mininjal, something that I might probably butchering the name, where there's like this woman that's like doesn't have like she has her torso and it's wild, right? And there's obviously you must have heard of The Ring, right?
Yeah.
There's Samara.
I my buddy who doesn't do horror movies because I'm a huge jerk.
Okay.
He jumped up at one
Yeah, that's crazy. But that was also based off of, again, Far East folklore. So that's the thing. Like, why do you think these conversations are always so U.S. centric?
Well, I think on Reddit, you're just going to run into that by virtue of the fact that it's for people that speak English primarily. Obviously, conspiracy is a subreddit that uses English.
Yeah.
So a greater number of users are going to be people that primarily speak English.
Yeah.
And Reddit has a very large American user base.
Okay.
So I think, you're just going to run into, it's the issue of, like, people are primarily going to be interested in their own country.
Yeah.
More so than other countries.
Yeah.
One interest about that story from the Middle East you were telling me.
Yeah.
Because it does, like, is that seen as Bigfoot is seen as a cryptid where people think it's like a living, breathing animal.
Yeah.
Because that story almost sounds like an allegory. I'm not overly familiar with Muslim theology.
Yeah.
But, like, as an allegory for temptation.
Yeah.
Like, given to temptation, obviously.
Yeah. Lost.
One thing you get.
Yeah.
Goat leg lady instead.
There's funny because there's some that think that she's a spirit that just hunts people for sport, which I'm like, okay, that doesn't really make any sense, right? Sort of the thing is it sort of comes sort of into the problem that atheist scholars have talked about, like Hitchens and Dawkins, and even recently Cosmic Skeptic and Genified Modified Skeptic or whatever his name is. They sort of bring up the fact that, okay, if you're allowing if these things exist, then he's not all powerful. Because he's all powerful, then he would have stopped it. But if he's all good, then he would not make it. It's a paradox type of thing. But I do think
that's the problem of evil. That's going back very long in religion.
Yeah.
But
have you read Paradise Lost?
No, I'm familiar with the story.
Okay.
I've not gotten around to it.
So, the thing about that story that I find so fascinating is, like, perspective is kind of everything, because to me the truth, I feel like the word truth has been diluted so much. You probably agree with me on that.
That's true.
Yeah. Right? That people say it's my truth and his truth and her truth. Like, the truth is the truth. Right? If it offends you, if it pisses you off, it doesn't care. The facts are the facts. And the thing about that is that, usually the truth is usually in the middle. Right? So when you read these stories, it's not even about religion. It's just you can extend this to shows, movies, books, or whatever. You're only seeing one perspective that the author wants you to see. Right? Think about Snow White. Her story is based on her perspective. We don't know what the villain is thinking about. We don't know if that the person has gone through some traumatic event or she was born in a messed up circumstance that has led to her point. We don't know that people have not helped her out. We don't know that. Right? The author of that story, because a lot of Disney stories were based off of dramatic folklore back in the day, like 1600s, 1700s, and were made during a time where there was a crisis going on down there. Food, there was a big famine, the weather was cold. Again, for some reason there was a massive witch hunt. It feels like that happens. Online happens every day, but back in the day, like, people were actually getting killed over it for no real reason, right? And it's like, then Maleficent comes out, that's successful, and tells her story in her perspective, and we start seeing that a lot of this stuff is a gray area, because here's the thing. Do you like the MCU?
Yeah, I haven't really followed it since Endgame, but I don't think
Okay.
I'm alone in that.
What's your favorite MCU movie, for example?
Probably, probably just Infinity War.
Okay. So I'll use a different movie. I use Captain America: Winter Soldier. Great movie in general. But the one thing I find interesting, and somebody brought this up in the video. I forgot the channel's name. But he made a really interesting point that a lot of the issue, a lot of the problem solving in the MCU, and more like in superhero comics in general, is that if you kill the right person, you're gonna win. Where you capture the right person, and it doesn't have to be about ideology. If the person that's attacking you has a different logo than you, then your instincts are gonna come in and say, "I gotta get rid of this person." You're not thinking about his family. You're not thinking about his circumstances. You're not thinking about his struggle, right? It might be a guy that had to be where he had to be because that's how he sustains himself. But we don't think on those terms because it raises an uncomfortable truth that we ourselves look at ourselves as the hero of our own story. That's why main character syndrome is such a big thing that people talk about. Because we all like to think we're Iron Man, we're Spider-Man, we're Batman, we're Superman, or whatever. But really, we're only a couple of bad circumstances away from being on the wrong side of that. And the whole world's going to look at you as that. Right? Huh?
All it takes is one bad day.
Exactly. Right? As simple as that's right. Because I look at it like, this is funny because I can't believe I'm going to mention this, but it's funny that, there's certain figures in history that, that were bad, obviously, and, there's been this weird attempt of trying to whitewash their bad actions by saying that, they may have a point or whatever. And I don't like that for revisionist history because it sort of takes off the blame of the actual person. But the one thing is that people don't really talk about and people don't want to talk about. And circumstances determine what the person's probably going to be. If you grow up in a poor area, you're going to be poor. You grow up in a rich area, most of the time you're going to be filthy rich. And that's how it goes. You grow up in middle class, you're probably going to be middle class. I'm sure there are exceptions. There's rags to riches, there's riches to rags. There's middle to riches, middle to rags. But those exceptions are the exceptions. They're not the full story. Right? It sort of kind of goes back to like, do you watch the NBA?
Not really, not much.
Do you watch sports in general?
I watch the Super Bowl. That's about it.
Okay. So, probably heard of Charles Barkley, right?
Yeah. I'm
okay.
Not that out of the
So, Charles Barkley did an interview back today, right? It went viral, because he said that, he goes to a classroom, and he asks people what they want to be, and all of them say they want to be entertained, they want to be a rapper, they want to be a basketball player, football player, all that stuff. And he said, like, that's not a good thing. Because for somebody to become, like, part of the NBA in general, you got to be the 0.1 of the 0.1 of 0.1%. And but that's not a guarantee you're going to be a star. That's a guarantee you're going to be in the league for maybe a couple years. Because the money in those leagues, I mean, there's guys who are averaging 5-6 points, but they contribute so much through other means. Right? They're defending, they're boxing out, they're playmaking, they're a great locker room presence. Right? But I feel like I feel like people just, there's this sort of resistance to do the mundane job, but you're going to have to do it at some point. Right? It doesn't have to mean that you're going to be cleaning people's toilets your whole life, you're going to be a janitor or whatever, but at some point, you're going to have to get your hands dirty. And are you willing to do that to get where you want to get to? Or are you just going to like avoid it altogether? And that usually means it's just not going to work out for you.
Well, it's one of those things you have to accept when you grow up. I was, even as a kid, look, I knew I wasn't going pro. I knew no one I knew was going pro. I think a few times I told other kids, I was like, statistically, do you know what the statistics of you going pro are? It's so unlikely.
Okay.
But it's one of those things you got. They even, I think, like 5 or 10 years ago, I remember they were running ads with like, it would literally be like professional football players. It'd be like, only 1,500 people are gonna, like, play in the NFL at a time, but we need 1 million scientists or 1 million engineers or whatever. I think is promoting education for kids.
That's the thing. So, is there a conspiracy that you believe in or you think might be real that other people from your circle kind of like look at you weird for believing in?
Look at me weird for believing in. I'm so deep, there are conspiracies people look at me weird for not believing in.
Okay.
As you define my circle, but because some people think when it comes to Bigfoot, there's a very coordinated government cover-up, and if you go public with an encounter, the men in black will knock on your door and play some good cop, bad cop, and tell you to just be quiet about it. I think when it comes to Bigfoot, I wouldn't say there's, like, some people literally think there's a 3-letter agency that's tasked with making sure no one finds out Bigfoot is real.
Yeah.
Silence anyone who reports it. If there are sightings, they'll send in, like, the military to, hunt down the Bigfoot. I don't believe that. I do think, at the very least, if, like, you're in a national park or something.
Yeah.
And, someone comes into the ranger station hysterical, talking about, what they saw, a giant ape man. There are a lot of stories from people who are told by the rangers, like, no, you saw a bear. You saw a bear. And I think, a lot of known animals, there are states where officially they'll say, like, there aren't any wolves here or, whatever.
Yeah.
Even though people know there are.
Yeah.
Or similarly, there's a type of cryptid, they call them alien big cats.
Yeah.
Less interesting than the name sounds. It's just, panthers and jaguars living in, and like cougars, mountain lions, living in areas where they officially don't have a population.
Yeah.
But, people see them. In England last year, they actually, a woman saw, I want to say it was a jaguar, attack an animal and, like, kill it. And she actually, like, got the animal's body and sent it in for study, and they found jaguar DNA. So, like, obviously, those animals exist in those places, even if they're officially died. I think, in my opinion, from what I've seen, I think that's probably the level of conspiracy that's going on with a Bigfoot cover-up.
Interesting. My question to you is, like, why do you think that a lot of conspiracies there's a lot of holes in these conspiracies? Like, I think about, like, you must have heard of the Illuminati and Freemasonry and ruling the world and saying that. And obviously I don't think you believe in that, right? Do you? Or
Look, I think, obviously, there are people that you don't know the names of who have a lot of power over. Like, there was this one, so there's this website called Open Secrets.
Yeah.
It shows every election who, like, the top donors are.
Yeah.
Last election, the guy who was the biggest donor for a while, then he was the second biggest once Elon stepped in. A guy named Timothy Mellon. Have you heard of Timothy Mellon?
Yes,
okay, most people haven't. So, he's not a well-known figure. There's very little information about him, but he's worth $14 billion, and he donated, $200 million during the election. So obviously he has some power. I don't think the Illuminati objectively existed at one point. There was a group it wasn't like guys in robes throwing the triangle. There's a group called the Illuminati.
Yeah.
In Bavaria, I believe.
Bavaria, yeah.
Yeah. But I think, look, like Bezos and Elon and Bill Gates, they must at least have a group chat, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think these guys probably coordinate. But in terms of, Freemasonry and the Illuminati, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know if... I wouldn't necessarily say I, fully believe the whole Eyes Wide Shut thing is going on with the robes and all the symbols.
I feel like
I think.
what's funny. I don't want to interrupt you. It's funny about this sort of conversation is that a lot of it just seems like people are just uncomfortable of seeing people that are fashionably wearing something different than most of the population. Right? When you see a woman that is in a cloak or whatever, you're gonna be like, you're gonna be like, okay, what's going on here? Is she a witch? Is she this? She's that? She just might be wearing because the weather's cold or whatever. Like, that's the thing. Like, people like to judge people off of their appearances all the time. And I'm just like, but when you flip it on them, they're gonna melt. They're gonna melt under the sun because it's all, to me, a lot of it is projection. Because think about this, right? Here's one comparison I don't think a lot of, people don't really think about is, like, what's the difference between a nun or a witch? What's the difference, right? You might be saying, well, witchcraft, but, like, think about this for a second, right? Nuns are kind of like, they stay in the church or whatever, they pray to God, whatever. But on the flip side, if they just change the tire, you might be thinking that they might be on some, like, devilish shit. But you don't know that. That's the thing, right?
But if they're on that devil stuff, are they really a nun?
That's the thing, right? It's all perspective, right? I mean, think about, like, when you see, whenever somebody's doing yoga, there's always a comment saying that this is, like, paganism. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, I always say, like, are you that insecure in yourself to be offended by somebody who's not doing, something that you do? Because for me, it's like, that's why, like, that's why, I don't overreact to certain things. If they're into something that I'm not into, okay, let them have it. It's a free country. We have freedom of speech and freedom of religion and freedom of movement and all that stuff. Then by very definition, you shouldn't care. But for some reason, again, we're seeing in the U.S., they want to strip that away for whatever reason. But that's just my perspective on it.
But yeah, going back to the Illuminati question, I do think the very wealthy and the very powerful occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean, if they have common interests, which, they inevitably, some of them will.
Yeah.
It makes sense to work together. And I think a lot of the time, the common interests of the very powerful are not necessarily the same as the interests of the vast majority of people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, another aspect of it is, like, I think it's human nature to hide secrets from people. I think we like to hide certain things about ourselves. I mean, and like you said earlier in the interview, you don't really reveal much about your personal life on YouTube or any platform, because you're entitled to that too, right? You're entitled to not reveal everything about yourself, because I think that's also the issue. I find is, like, a lot of people are just be oversharing things that are they're not meant to be spoken out to the world. They're just not. Some things are just better left unsaid. And however, I do think that, like, hypothetically, let's say a lot of these sort of organizations, let's say they disappear, let's say they don't exist. People are gonna still be starving. People are not gonna have clean drinking water. Housing is still gonna be a mess. The economy is upside down. Bureaucracy essentially controls the country. Right? There's going to be other countries committing genocides and just horrific stuff to people that they deem not worthy of that type of respect or dignity. Right? All those issues are not going to just disappear. They're just not. Right? So that's the thing. I really feel like a lot of these conversations are just hot air. Because even if that was the case, how does it affect you personally? Right, but the masses, my friend, you're not a prophet, you're not a Messiah, you're not Moses, you're not Jesus. Just be you. You're not a main character, bro. We're all supporting pieces in other people's stories. So
yeah, someone has to be the main character.
Yeah. So
someone's got to do it.
Are you into reading books? I'm assuming?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What was the last book you read?
This book I read, End to End. It's a book from the 80s called In Search of Excellence.
Yeah.
It's basically just a business management book.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty controversial in business circles these days. I won't bore you with the details, but it studied like a dozen companies that were performing very well. Some of them have since gone out of business.
Yeah.
And have said like that's evidence that the book isn't worth reading. The others are still doing well, so people say it's evidence it is worth reading. What about you?
Last book I read, it wasn't a book, it was a comic. It was All-Star Superman. Yeah. Have you watched the Superman movie?
Yeah.
It's on my birthday, July 11th.
Oh, nice. You gonna see it?
Absolutely.
I've not read all of All-Star Superman. I've read like a few parts that I've seen, and I've seen. I think they did like a movie, like a cartoon.
Yeah, but yeah, they did.
Like where he's lifting like 200 quintillion tons.
Yeah.
Or the part where like Luther has the epiphany and kind of breaks down.
Yeah, for sure.
You a big comic book guy?
Oh, big comic book guy. I'm a big like pop culture junkie guy. So again, like I like to like sort of understand all of the angles of something, good and bad, so I can sort of come to my own consensus. And just also, I like discovering new things. I mean, my mind is like works in a way that if I'm obsessed with something, that is what my mind is always going to be trying to find new information. Even if I've read something 4 or 5 times, I would read it the 6th time just to see, okay, is there something that I missed? Is there a person I have to look up and do my own research on? It doesn't have to be for anything. I just like reading new information. It's just sort of coming to sort of a newfound appreciation for something that I love. So,
gotcha. I've never understood the idea of being like casually interested in something. I'm either obsessed or just don't care about it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned that because that is what I think is driving a lot of the bad discourse around just things in general. Because you're arguing with somebody who obviously knows this stuff more than you, but you're acting like you being a casual means that you're objective. It doesn't mean you're objective. You can still be biased. You can still be wrong. Right? I mean, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's been some type of movement to try to make the new Superman movie fail because some Snyder fans want the Snyderverse to come back. It's just ridiculous. Like, bro, move on. Like, I like Snyder's work, but like, I'm excited for a Superman that's like Superman. You know, I love Man of Steel, but like, that's not really Superman. You know, like.
Yeah, that's downer, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean. The one thing I don't like the new Superman like suit design that much.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I thought my ideal Superman suit would be the 2006 movie, but with the 1978 colors.
Yeah, that Superman suit's kind of underrated. I think. I also, I mean, do you like Superman Returns?
I don't. Look, it's fine. I don't think it's anyone's like favorite movie.
Yeah, the thing about that movie, it's so funny because I was watching it, a little bit of it recently. The one thing that stuck out to me, that it felt like the most 2000 superhero movie of all time. There are some unnecessary love triangle stuff. There are some stuff that is they're trying to be gritty. Like, I felt like a lot of this movie could have been trimmed out. Like, there wasn't that much action. Which is weird because I felt like the best scenes in the movie is when he's actually fighting people, right? That's one thing. Yeah. Like Bryan Singer, I give him credit. It's like he knows how to direct action sequences pretty well, but everything else just felt off. It felt like this movie is almost like over 2 hours and 30 minutes long, and yet he's still beefing with Lois Lane. Kevin Spacey is just pacing up and down like a lunatic. I mean, he is a lunatic in real life, but like. It was just weird because like
one scene
I don't
that like really makes the movie for me. It's where the family is like trapped in the sinking ship.
Yeah,
they do the really perfect job of like building the attention. Then you see his feet through the window,
Yeah.
and you hear the kid. That's kind of the perfect Superman scene for me.
Yeah. It sort of just makes it, but it makes the problems just that much worse. You bog it down with stuff that just doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, what make the original Superman so good is like, it's just, again, the story. It's not a 3-hour epic. I don't know what people are trying to make Superman this 3-hour Lawrence of Arabia. That's not his character. He is a human being that happens to have superpowers. You know, there's too many of these takes that he's boring and he's overpowered. Like, that's not the point. The point why people love his character so much is that how does he balance his powers with his humanity, right? There's so many situations in the comics, even All-Star Superman, where he has to make a choice, and that is the climax of the story. But for some reason, like as much as I like Man of Steel, I really feel like it's damaged people's perception of Superman. And I'll also add BVS into that as well, where it makes Superman not even Superman, it makes him like Batman. That's not his character, like, at all.
Yeah, Batman versus Superman was rough. Let's just
yeah.
Let's look at that. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. I mean, the one take I always had is that it's something. It's not my take. It's Mike. This guy named. He's a British critic, right? He's popular on YouTube and he's verified everywhere. He's probably one of the most popular critics right now in movies. He's been doing reviews for like almost 30 years, right? And he said something so interesting. Hey, I think his name is Kermode or something like that. I forgot. But he said something like, it felt like the first 2/3 of the movie, A Man of Steel, feels like it's directed by Christopher Nolan. And the last third feels like it's directed by Michael Bay. It's literally two different movies smashed into one. That's why it feels not cohesive at all. Even though the story itself is not that complicated. It's pretty simple. Maybe the most simplest Superman movie, I think. But I'm like, look, I get Nolan was never going to direct that movie. But part of me wishes he did. Just because, again, I'm like, Nolan's my favorite director ever. And I think him directing another Superman movie would just shake everything up, as always. And also, it would be the take that I think the Superman character needed at the time. It needed a refreshing. It needed to have a refresh. It needed to have a little bit of a different take. And look, Superman being darker this doesn't ruin the character at all. There's been stories Superman is in a very dark world, but he's the light. He's the beacon of hope. That's his thing. His character is hope. And the funniest thing is that there are scenes in Man of Steel BVS. They keep trying to say, it's other people saying he's a beacon of hope. He's this, he's that. And I'll never forget, there's a sequence in BVS where it's like this montage of, Superman, like, he's saving people. He's doing this all awe-inspiring stuff. But you look at his face, he looks pissed off that he's doing it. It's just weird. Like, you see, this guy saying that he's not a god or whatever. He's just a person just trying to help. But right, like 20 minutes after that, the bomb goes off at the Capitol Hill. He doesn't even try to stop it, and he just flies away. Like, to this guy, like, what? It just doesn't make any sense.
So yeah, I think the box office for the new Superman movie is really just going to decide the whole fate of this new Gunverse or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Was that a question or?
No, I'm just
okay.
My thoughts at least.
Interesting. What music you're into? What are you listening to right now?
That's something I keep a little close to my chest.
Not wrong. No, I'm not gonna make fun of you.
No, dude. People I'm friends with don't know the answer to that.
Oh damn! Wow. Is there an artist or like a genre or something?
That's the one question I won't answer.
Alright. Okay. I listen to a lot of things, bro. Like,
yeah.
I mean, hip hop's mainly, like, that's been my bread and butter for most of my life. I mean, electronic music also. I mean, Daft Punk and case you're not, and I don't know, have you heard of Aphex Twin?
I've heard of him. I could not tell you anything about him.
Okay.
That is.
Right. I mean, I've been getting a lot of like old school like R&B, and so like Otis Redding, Donny Hathaway. Always loved Frank Sinatra, so that's again been in rotation. But the one artist, most funniest way I've discovered an artist. So, have you heard of Lana Del Rey?
Yes, I've heard of Lana Del Rey.
Okay. So, I'll never forget this, 2016, right? And I think it was September or October or whatever. And I was in grade 8, right? And a lot of things were going on during my life, you know? And I had an iPod that was almost dead. I mean, no one was using the iPod that I was using to listen to music. I mean, and I went on the radio, because there's a radio feature in the iPod, right? Go on radio. I think it was like 99.9 or something like that. That's like the most popular radio station in all of Canada, Virgin Radio. And this remix of Summertime Sadness comes on. And this is like, at that point, it was her most popular song. It wasn't even an original song that she did. It was just a remix of a song. And I listened to it. I loved it. I said, "Who's Lana Del Rey?" I searched her up. And I felt, she was literally my first actual like celebrity crush, and bro, it's just, I mean, the rest is history. I mean, you know, those 6-7 months afterwards, I was constantly daydreaming. I was listening. I wanted to know every aspect, and it was so interesting, bro. It got to a point where like I was mentioning her in conversations unprompted, and people would be looking at me like, "What is this man talking about?" Like, but I needed that though, because I'll never forget. This is the end of the year. It's like end of like it's December, and people are gonna go off and their winter break or whatever, and like everybody had like a journal, right? The school like gives you like a duotang or a agenda or whatever, and I was just writing like name someone that inspired you, something like that. I said Lana Del Rey because of this, and this. It wasn't that detailed. It wasn't really that good. My writing was really bad back in the day. And my teacher sees it, and she gives me an A, because it was like an assignment type of thing, right? She gives me an A. She's like, "Man, I checked her out. Her music's so amazing." I said, "That's great." And then I think it was like a couple weeks before, you know, graduation, and we had assembly, and our class was the first one to sit in assembly. Kid you not, they were playing Lana Del Rey, West Coast, off her Ultraviolet's album from 2014, and I had the biggest smile on my face. I'm like, they get it. It's just, the rest has been history. I mean, you know, all the weird stuff I listen to. If I couldn't handle Lana, there's no way I can listen to something like Arca or Kazakhstan or JPEG Mafia or Daft Grips or anything like that. So yeah. Yeah. Interesting. What is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Just, here's the question. When you ask favorite movie, does it have... I think you have to, like, say favorite movie at the moment, or is it, like, favorite movie judged within the context of when I first watched it? Because, like...
Okay.
If it was my favorite movie when I was a little kid, obviously not my favorite movie now.
Okay.
But
I'd say like it could be at the moment. It could be from back in the day. You know.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going because everyone has like that. I feel like everyone has that one movie watched 100 times as a kid that no one else has ever seen.
Yeah.
But are you into like slasher movies at all?
There's a couple I like. I mean, obviously, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. That's a classic. I actually like the new Scream movies. Like, they weren't so scary in the sense of just like, because back in the day I could not handle looking at anything horror related. Now I'm like, okay, this is more my thing. Does The Purge count? Because I like the first one a lot actually. The other ones weren't that good.
Yeah, slasher. It's not like slasher is kind of a genre where a lot of movies are debatable whether or not they fit. Like, I don't think there's a hard definition
Yeah.
for what is and isn't a slasher. So, yeah, I'm like big into them.
Mm-hmm.
One of my it's from 2009. It's called The Collector.
Oh yeah, I heard of that.
You seen it?
No, it's just I don't know. I don't. You know the thing. I mean, it looks a little like Saw, and I'm like, I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
it was made. I think it originally started as a Saw prequel film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Home Alone if Kevin was the villain. It's okay. So the reason I think it's really good, it has a really smart protagonist and a really smart antagonist.
Yeah.
And they're written in a way where like it took genuine intelligence to write a character.
Yeah.
That's smart. Like in a comic book movie, if they want you to show you a character is smart, they'll be like, oh, he got 12 PhDs at the age of 5, and then he invented time travel.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what it is. Like, Tony Stark is a very smart character, but you don't have to be a very smart writer to show how he's smart.
Yeah.
What I'd say. With The Collector, they show both how the kind of cat and mouse game that the two characters are playing, like acquired intelligence and very outside the box thinking with what they do. There's a sequel I really liked, and they're actually. So the sequel came out in 2012, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then they started making a third one.
And then it got
COVID hit, fell apart, and last year they announced it's back on.
Damn.
So I'm really excited for when that comes out.
Who was in it? Like is that anybody I would know?
The one guy people might Josh Stewart. He's been in some other.
Wow.
Yeah, he's gonna be in I think he's in the new Odyssey movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's what people...
Okay. Interesting. Is there any like non-horror movies you like?
Yeah. I'm not one of those only horror movie guys, but I just Citizen Kane, super cheap answer, but I actually haven't seen it. I like that. What I was saying earlier, how everyone has that one movie you saw like 100 times as a kid that no one else has ever seen.
Yeah.
So there's the Disney Hercules movie.
Yes.
People might not know. There was like a live action Hercules show that was running at the same time.
Yeah.
That was completely unrelated. And they put out their own animated movie the same year. Hercules and Xena, The Battle for Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
It does not hold up in case you're wondering. It's one of those movies where you can tell the animation budget was about $12.
Yeah.
Dude, that as a kid, that movie had me in a chokehold.
Yeah.
Watched it 3 times. I'm trying to think of favorite movie. I liked all the early Marvel stuff. It's just after Endgame, it kind of got off track, and then you had to follow all the shows.
Yeah.
Just kind of stopped. Definitely had a few pretty huge Star Wars phases growing up. Still love Star Wars. Still, still watch them. The only problem with Star Wars is I can't just watch one of them. Like, I've got to
watch all of them. Yeah, I'm like that.
So the order, it's one guy created what's the perfect order to watch them. You watch 4 and 5, then you watch 2 and 3 as a flashback, then you watch 6. I'm not really a fan of the Disney Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. Here's the thing, but here's the thing, right? Have you heard of Tron Legacy?
Yeah.
You watched it?
No, I've just heard of it.
Okay, you have to watch that movie. Tron Ares will come out in a couple months. I know Jared Leto, he's the lead, but I mean, the rest of the cast is stacked. I mean, Gillian Anderson is in it. I mean, and she's not appearing in projects like that without a reason to. The guy who's the cinematographer of like Fight Club and The Social Network and Gone, he's doing the cinematography of that movie. A lot of Fincher's people are involved in this movie, funny enough. So again, and I'm not saying it's going to be a classic, but I think it's going to be pretty interesting, regardless.
I think if there's any other movie. Are you into the whole like so bad it's good kind of movie?
Actually, recently, kinda like You must have heard of the Electric State or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but that was the one Netflix spent like $300 million on.
Here's the thing, bro. I might go on a little tangent here, but I watched it recently. It's not the worst movie of all time as people were saying it. It's not the worst movie. Is it good? No, it's not. It's not good. Direction is ass. The writing is crap. The CGI is all over the place. and the peanut guy, okay, the peanut guy was actually funny. But, I mean, everyone else was... I mean, the best part of the movie, I might be biased because I'm a massive crush on this person. It's Millie Bobby Brown. And the thing about... It's so weird because before the movie even came out, even a couple years before the movie was even conceived to happen, there's just been this weird hate wave against her. For no real reason, right? It's a lot like the Snyder fans going after James Gunn, but instead it's the internet going after Millie. And they're taking things out of context. They're saying she said this, but she didn't really say that at all. All she's this, all she's narcissistic. I'm like, what? Right? And the next thing you know, all she doesn't care about movies. Like, well, what are you talking about? What narrative you want to pick? What side you want to do? Right? And it's just, to me, it's like, it's just so bad. Like, I remember this comment really pissed me off. And you heard of the Doppelganger subreddit?
It's just like doppelgangers for celebrities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Okay. So, this person posted, and I got like 300 comments. And there's one of the most upvoted comments I saw. That this is like Millie Bobby Brown, is her when she was younger, when she started out in Stranger Things. And it's like, this is her. You look like her before she grew up, and now she looks scary. I'm like, what the f is wrong with you, bro? Like, you're literally outing yourself, like saying shit like that. And people just are comfortable saying stuff like that about her. And it's just, to me, it's like, what did she do, right? Sure, you want to say you're disappointed that she's not in prestige movies. I'm like, okay, that is a critique. But, like, just because she isn't Natalie Portman or Leonardo DiCaprio does not mean her career is an abject failure. That's the problem. Where it's on one spectrum, is like, this person is the greatest ever. On another spectrum, this person is literally Satan in human form. Like, bro, there is a middle ground here. It's not a crime to just be okay or decent in what you do. And people forget it's subjective. So when people make these grand proclamations, I have to remind them, no, it's not sports. It's acting. And some people perceive the acting to be different. I mean, art affects people differently. You know? Like, have you heard of Blonde? The movie by Marilyn Monroe?
No, I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Okay. So, that's great. That's for example. Right? I tried watching that movie 4 or 5 times. I couldn't finish it. And I made a post about it. Granted, I was pissed off. So it's right, like, this is like an anti-movie. Ana de Armas was horrible. And to me, I still think that, like, she did a very bad job in that movie. Granted, you know, the direction wasn't that good. The soundtrack was like, everything. It was literally, they were trying to piss on Marilyn's legacy. And I'm not a Marilyn stan, but like that kind of pissed me off. And then I saw people trying to say, well, it's this artistic, experimental thing. You're not going to understand it. And I'll never forget, I go on this man's letterbox, and it's all his favorite movies are Transformers and Zack Snyder. I'm like, look, all right, on the surface, it's like, okay, you like what you like. But again, I'm literally laughing at my phone. I'm like, this guy can't be serious here. So...
I'm into, like, the true so bad it's good, like,
okay.
You know, The Room or...
Can you name me some examples?
You know, like The Room, that's probably the most famous.
Yeah.
That genre. Like, you know, it's... Because I think so bad it's good movies are the best if you're watching with a group, because you can actually talk during them and just make fun of them.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen... remember the Tall Girl movie from, like, 6 years ago? Yeah, I watched that.
Example of
that kind of stuff.
An example of a movie that, like, it's kind of like that is have you heard of Project X, the party movie?
No, I've not seen that.
It's nuts. Is it good? No, but it's very entertaining. And is the acting any good? No, it's not. But it's very, like, it's very like in your face 2011 type of movie. It's very in your face, very abrasive, very like very gimmicky, very cliche. It doesn't age well, but I mean it wasn't gonna age well. And they're thinking of like rebooting it and having all whatever cast. But another example of a movie the first one, I love this movie. You know, it's not that. I hear Paul Blart Mall Cop, Kevin James.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that first movie was fire. Okay, look, is it like comedy? Is it like a comedic mask? No, it's not. But you cannot deny there's some funny ass jokes in that movie. I mean, the fight in the fucking the rainforest cafe. that was hilarious, bro. The second one was so bad because they just missed everything about the first one that made it so good. Maybe it was like, I mean, it didn't need to be a franchise. Like that's the thing. Like sometimes one movie is just enough, you know. So,
Well, are there any other movies you think should have stayed one film rather than becoming a franchise?
wow, oh god, so many. Jurassic Park, come on now. That's a one movie thing. I know the new one's making hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, just what's the point, man? Like why can't you you would think at some point this couple of explorers or scientists trying to survive an island of killer dinos, like it gets old, right? It gets old. Like why isn't the Earth in a post-apocalyptic type of mess where dinosaurs are raining around like it's like the Jurassic. Why don't we have something like that? Like I think that would be really interesting to see.
Well, that's actually, I commented this on some video yesterday. It's interesting how we've seen over the years. We've seen comic book movie booms. We've seen a video game movie boom right now. We've seen Western slashers. Jurassic Park is still the only dinosaur franchise.
Yeah.
No matter what, you never really see other dinosaur movies.
There's a point though, right? There's so many things. Like, why isn't there a dinosaur movie where the dinosaurs win?
Dinosaurs don't buy a lot of movie tickets. Maybe that's why.
That's another one. Here's a very hot take about Star Wars. Low key, the prequels should have never been made. It takes everything that makes Darth Vader so cool and imposing and aura, and it just strips it away. I don't care about his relationship with Padme. No disrespect to Natalie Portman, but I don't no disrespect. They gave her nothing on that script, man. I don't care about Coruscant like that, and they don't even spend that much time on that planet too. They hype it up as this war planet. It's gonna come under siege, and they don't even do anything with it. Right? It's just, why can't they just, a lot of these villains on Star Wars, they always have to be over-explained. Why can't somebody just be evil for the sake of being evil? The reason why that...
Palpatine.
Huh?
Palpatine is.
Okay. That's one guy. And also, I didn't care about his time as a senator or whatever. The thing, what makes the twist in the third... I think the second one or the third one, well, Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father, is so good because we don't know nothing about Darth Vader. If can you imagine if they start including scenes of Darth Vader, as a doll or as a kid, or it would not make any sense. That's the thing, right? And for some reason, there's been this little movement of people pretending that the prequels are this masterpiece of cinema. No, they were not. There's only one good movie. It was the third movie. And it has nothing to do with Darth Vader. At all.
Interesting.
The first two did not, for me, what they should have done is they're going to do an origin movie about somebody. Make it one movie. Why are you giving us a trilogy? That's the problem. I think, here's the thing, right? I always felt George Lucas... think about his first two movies before Star Wars. American Graffiti and the THX, whatever movie that...
11,
huh?
It's TH 1138.
Yeah. Think about how off the wall those movies were. Especially the second one, that second one is... It, to me, might be the most weirdest movie ever. It's so weird and bizarre, like, and then you see the prequels, is like, what happened here? Like, why hasn't George Lucas made another original movie? You know why? Because again, the Star Wars fan base, they're gonna hound him for it.
Yeah, he made an original movie.
Which one?
Ever seen Delgo?
When was this released?
I think. Wait, what was Delgo him, or am I thinking of something else?
That's it.
Okay, no, he made another. It was like CGI.
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
I got it.
No, I swear he made another non-Star Wars movie.
The point I was trying to make is like a lot of these franchises are controlled by these fan bases. You know how fan bases are.
Okay, it was Strange Magic. That's what I was thinking of. It's from like 2015.
Okay.
You made The Land Before Time?
I got to search that. I don't know. But like,
okay, some of these are like movies he produced. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, but like, can you imagine how much hype there would be if George Lucas made another original blockbuster movie? You know how much hype? It'll be insane. But he won't make it because, again, he has all that money in the bank. And for him, like, people are just going to compare it to Star Wars. He could make a war movie. Like, Saving Private Ryan or something like that. It'll be like, well, you know, he was trying to tell this message and how it connects to the Star Wars. Like, what? Like, leave the man alone, man.
One thing that's interesting about like the prequels versus the sequels that I saw some point out online, it's that like the prequels, you know, the acting wasn't good, the special effects weren't good, the dialogue wasn't good. The story was actually good. Like the story of, you know, Anakin's fall to the dark side was actually very well done.
Yeah.
The sequels had the opposite problem. Like, you know, the acting was good. The effects worked. The dialogue, for the most part, before the Rise of Skywalker, was not that bad. The story made no sense.
Yeah,
the story just makes no sense.
I don't disagree with that, except that the story that Lucas was trying to tell was good. Look, the ideas were good, but the actual execution, like I said, you could have condensed all of that into one movie. I care about efficiency. That's the same issue I had with Snyder's vision of DC. That he's going to tell the Superman movie, we're going to deconstruct him, then we're going to build him up, they're going to tear him down, and he's going to be Christopher Reeve Superman by the end. Like, no, that's not an effective story. If it takes you 5 movies that are over 2 hours long to tell a story that could be told in under 2 hours, then there's a massive problem. Simple as that. Right?
I think you needed the full 3 movies to show how he went from, you know, the slave boy to Padawan to Jedi Knight to Darth Vader.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little bit too, like, you know, I wouldn't say cynical. Maybe I'm like being a little too harsh, but like, think about this. Like, where can they really go now? Right? Think about it. Where can they go? The Skywalker story's done, and they're telling stories that were taking place before the continuity was even really a thing. So, I have an idea of a Star Wars movie that ends it. It was like a 2-parter, right? Doesn't really matter who directs it, right? I would tell a story. Essentially, it would kind of lift the veil of Star Wars in general. I would say Star Wars and Darth Vader were a U.S. government experiment gone horribly wrong. So it would go like this. It would go like, scientists have discovered a blip, right? Like, let's say, like, think of CERN. Have you heard of CERN?
Yeah, I've heard of CERN.
Okay, so they're splitting atoms. And then something happened, and it splits open, it opens a portal, like a mini portal. And it's like 5-10 seconds, and it goes away. And the president, they alert all the authorities. The president, there's a meeting, there's arguments going on. I don't know, Tommy Lee Jones is the president, who cares, right? and And he says, okay, we're gonna do a little project here. It start trying to replicate it, and it would just be a montage of them trying to replicate it. And then they see this alternate universe is Star Wars, with its own culture, its own people, but they don't speak English. They all speak different languages. That's the thing, because they're always confused. Like, why are they speaking English? Like, think about it. Is English really a thing? What happened to Earth? Right, all that stuff. Right, and they talk about universe took place in a universe far, far away or something like that, and that would be the answer. Where they start sending out special man-made missions to these planets, and they get more technology, and they start developing something. This is where Darth Vader comes in. So Darth Vader would be like, how can I say this? His story would be essentially like what happened in prequels, except that they, you know, you hear of the Manchurian Man or whatever that's called, Denzel.
No.
So essentially, the story of that movie is that they're conducting experiments like MK Ultra type shit, and it changes somebody's brain chemistry, and that will happen to Darth Vader. Essentially, it'll be called Project Vader. Essentially, he's granted to rule whatever portion of the U.S. wants to rule over, and then essentially what happens.
That's not Darth Vader at that. That's just a guy who looks like Darth Vader.
All right, and they just call him Darth Vader because whatever, right? And they start, and his suit could be like a special, like, modified military grade, like think of like Black Noir in like Homeland in the Boys, something like that. But the actual design would come later on, right? And these man-made missions would be that they'll start teaching. It'll be a lot like what they were trying to do in Iran. They're trying to bring democracy when all they did is just make shit worse, right? And then what the twist is that the portal starts to collapse. They did it one time, and the whole start almost got pulled in, you know, and that's when Rey's character comes in. So Rey would be an engineer, and it would play out like they close the portal, and then they start realizing that they are copies of each person in that universe that are on Earth. It'll essentially kind of play out, and the second part would be like kind of like Independence Day, it'll be like an invasion, and essentially it'll be like Rise of Skywalker, but if it was like good. I want to end the story, and it will be like a statue of all the heroes, like Obi-Wan Kenobi and all that stuff, and it'll essentially just end the saga. I don't know if it would be any good, but that's how I would do it, you know.
Thing for me, like, I have not been able to find any good cryptid movies, ironically.
Yeah.
I think it's just because, like, it's like slashers where there's a pretty low barrier to entry because you can just get a cheap suit and make it found footage so people can't
see it.
You know, really see how the suit looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just kind of, you know, it's easy to make, but no one's really made a truly great one yet, in my opinion.
Would Stranger Things count? I know it's not a movie; it's a show. Like, would that count?
Like cryptid, because I know it's like the villain. I know the one villain is from like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but that's not like a cryptid. It's like its own.
Have you seen Stranger Things? Have you watched it? Do you like it?
I never got into it, ironically. I kind of know. It's not. There's like one. Like, they haven't dropped the last part of the show just yet, right?
No, it's gonna drop like November, December. So it's not that far away.
The villains are like Dungeons and Dragons monsters and stuff.
Okay. What's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? You know, I actually Cobra Kai was like pretty mindless, but I actually liked that.
Yeah.
I really like horror stuff, but it's really hard to translate to television.
Yeah.
Is the only thing. So yeah, like There's a TV show called Slasher. I still have to get around to watching
Yep.
it. Maybe it'll be good. There's actually one pretty obscure show. It's from like the 90s.
Yeah.
It's called Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. I think to some extent it probably inspired me getting into all this.
Yeah.
So basically they would have like there'd be 5 stories, and you'd be segments, so it could be an anthology. And some of them are based on true events, some of them they made up themselves.
Yeah.
And then at the end, reveal which were which.
Yeah.
And that was a good show. But so, some of the ones they claimed were based on true events were pretty iffy as to how.
Yeah, it's
like some of them end with like the main characters dying. I'm like, okay, if they died at the end, how can it be a true story? Like, who did they tell this to? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Know this? I like the WWE stuff, I guess, so count that as a TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
They don't really make sitcoms anymore. I liked Game of Thrones when it was on, obviously. Yeah. That ending was not... those last seasons were rough.
Yeah, it was...
How I Met Your Mother had the same ending problem.
Yeah. You're not into The Walking Dead, or?
I never get into The Walking Dead. It's just it's like that's what I said with horror. It's hard to make a TV show because you can only stretch the. It's a lot easier to make a 90-minute movie than 20-episode season. You have to stretch the tension. The Walking Dead, I guess the advantage was. Like, a zombie apocalypse is a setting more than it is a premise. So there's a lot of stuff you can really do with that. What's your favorite show?
Wow, that's a great question. That when I was younger, it's like a cartoon. I love SpongeBob. Teen Titans, I think more like last couple years. That's up there. Live action. There's actually quite a few that stood out to me. I mean, the OG, the BBC Sherlock. I mean, that's up there for me. Breaking Bad, Sopranos. I love those shows. I'll say Stranger Things, probably my favorite show. I just
Maybe I'll have to get into that one.
Huh?
Maybe I'll have to get into that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you enjoy it. I think. There's a lot of very interesting paranormal. Obviously, the show is based off of supposedly things that happen on Montauk. You must have heard of the Montauk experiments.
Yeah, Montauk experiments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those ones are pretty.
Yeah.
It's not clear how much of that stuff is real.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, it's the guy who wrote it, I think it was Preston Nichols or something like that. Very, very interesting figure. I don't really agree with anything that he says, but the story is very interesting. Right? Because supposedly, Larry, these kids that the government, kidnapped or they coerced into doing these wild experiments, and some of them can, they could literally, they could, make things out of nothing. They could make a monster out of nothing. They could make an apple out of nothing. There's guys who could, burn cities down with just the flick of their wrist. I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, that's not true. What is he? What is he? A Fantastic Four character? What are we doing here? But I mean, it sold a lot of books, so I don't know.
Well, during the Cold War, the government actually tried to see if they could use psychics to spy on the USSR.
Yeah,
they did the same thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's and also it kind of goes back to what I'm saying. Do you read comic books?
I don't not week to week, just because that's. But the once they're put into a graphic novel, or an omnibus or whatever.
Interesting. Yeah. So. Have you heard of the Teen Titans?
Yeah, I know about them. There's the whole cartoon.
Yeah.
They're not as good. The live action show everyone forgot about.
You watched the live action one?
No, I just saw when it came out. This is Oh, this is so embarrassing. So you know the movie Remember the Titans?
Yeah. Yeah, love that
I had
movie.
like DVR. Yeah, I had it DVR'd, and for some I didn't remember why. I thought for some reason I thought it was about like Teen Titans. And I'm like, yeah, it made sense. So I put it on. I'm like, okay, this will be awesome. And it starts with the kids playing football. So I'm like, oh, cool. It's gonna like they're starting with the part about Cyborg before he became Cyborg.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes passed, and then 20 minutes passed. I'm like, wow, they're still on Cyborg. And then I kind of pieced together this wasn't exactly about Teen Titans.
That's funny. But Denzel did a wicked job in that movie, bro. Shout out to him. He did a wicked job in that movie. Yeah. So who's your favorite Teen Titans character?
So are we doing like from the show or from like the comics?
It could be whatever comic show you want to incorporate both. You can.
Titans character. Pretty lame, but probably Robin.
Okay. My favorite. Yeah, my favorite. I mean, it's Raven. She's probably my favorite fictional character at this point, bro. Like, and the reason why I brought her up because remember, like I mentioned to you, the Area 51 stuff that might be happening in Saudi Arabia and stuff, areas like that. If there's a character, a superhero I think might exist, it's probably her. But she wouldn't be a hero or a villain. It would be just a thing, right? That is able to sort of, again, and this might sound a little crackpot, but if there's a country in the world, if there's a part of the world that someone like that could be hidden from the public, you got to understand that a lot of the media in those countries are state-controlled media, right? Like, people talk about how the mainstream media in U.S., Canada is bad, and I say, yeah, it is bad, but the way that they control the narrative over those countries is insane, right? There have been stories where there's literally been like insane things happen, and literally I think the government or a representative pays these stations off in the millions of dollars. Say do not print this, do not present this on TV. If we do, we're throwing you in jail, and that might be the start of it. So again, there's a lot of state propaganda that's going on, as again that's commonplace over there. So someone like that the Saudi government knows, or whatever government release knows that it's in their line of view. They know that this person exists, or this thing exists. And let's say they capture this thing, however way they catch it, right? And they lock it deep underground somewhere in some Area 51 type stuff, right? You don't think that at some point, if there is an uprising, they'll unleash this thing and it'll just force everyone to essentially just give up, right? That might sound a little crackpot, but that's another sort of possibility that might be possible,
Well, you ever see one of those TikToks where it'll just be like it says like there's 8 billion people on Earth, someone has got to have superpowers.
Exactly. I saw that.
I think about it sometimes. Like, look, we all tried to go Super Saiyan as a kid.
Yeah.
Because it's. I guess how do you define superpowers? Because like, there's that one guy who can just run and never get tired.
Yeah.
There's like Buddhist monks that can raise their body temperature.
Yeah. I mean, that's have you watched American Psycho?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a season of the movie where Christian Bale, Patrick Bateman, he sees a business card, and he goes on this unhinged rant how his business card is like the best thing since sliced bread. And this guy says, my business card's better, and here's why. It is better. And he's sweating. He's angry. He's gonna like rip the whole. Christian Bale could sweat on command. Did you know that?
And
yeah,
dude, he was when he did that movie, at the cast party, people learned that like the Patrick Bateman voice wasn't his real voice for the first time. Like they had no idea.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Could speaking a ton of languages, is that a superpower? Because not a lot of people can do that.
Yeah, there's I think there's one guy who can speak like 40 or something because there's just his brain is wired that way. And I guess once you learn a language, like it's easier to learn a third language or a fourth language.
There's people who could function even though they can't see, they can't hear, they can't taste, they can't smell. Is that superpower?
Okay, there's no one who has zero senses and can function. Wait, do you mean like individually or like...
Individually, yeah.
Okay, I was like, who is this guy? I'm like, dude, what is he?
Yeah.
I thought you meant this was all like one guy.
I mean, could someone like 11 exist? Where it doesn't have to be he or she. It could just be something like that could just control certain objects and throw cars miles away. Like, is that possible? Is that superpower? Like, the definition is really based on your perspective, you know? Like, look at the NFL, right? I mean, Tom Brady played for like 22 years. He didn't even get hurt, right? For most of that time. I know he tore his ACL or whatever at 09 or something, 08 or something like that. Right? Is he a superhero for playing that long and still be that good? Is Novak Djokovic, is he the superhero? Is Messi, Ronaldo, are they superheroes? You could say they are, but really they're not. Like, no.
It's like something I want. If someone were really like psychic or whatever, I think they probably just bought Bitcoin or something and they're keeping a low profile.
Yeah. I mean, something like that would just... It would, like, change everything. It wouldn't be in the way that movies portray it. I don't think there would be widespread chaos. But online would be absolutely insane. With the memes and all that stuff. Like, you know, like, it feels like... Just think about, like, how certain people are, like, perceived now. You know? I think about, like... You know, I look at, like, Tom Cruise. Right? Are you a fan of Tom Cruise?
As an actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, as an actor, he's very good.
Okay. Think about like how his perception in the mid-2000s were. He was looked at as this lunatic, Scientologist guy ranting about how depression isn't real. He's jumping on Oprah's couch. He's hanging around with, like, again, it was really bad. And next thing you know, he's the coolest guy on earth now. It's not like he stopped doing those things. But he kept it, now I mean, I gotta give kudos to his PR team because, like, a lot of those incidents I just mentioned, people don't even remember anymore. It's all been memory hold, so. Yeah, so, what is the future of your channel or the content you make?
The future, actually, it's funny. For my 6-year anniversary special, a little sneak peek for anyone. I was going to talk about the future of cryptozoology as a whole.
Okay.
And, like, you know, where I think that stuff's going to go with, you know, developments within the crypto community, developing technologies, and how it's going to affect all this stuff.
Yeah.
Future of my channel. Want to keep growing, you know, want to keep making videos, keep looking for stuff, that kind of stuff. Nothing too crazy.
Okay.
Hopefully find Bigfoot.
All right. You probably must have heard, but like, what is your thoughts on, like, you know, there's been people that want to clone. Like, trying to clone woolly mammoth and clone saber-tooth tiger.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
They said they brought back the dire wolves.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because they're saying they're not dire wolves; they're animals that resemble dire wolves.
Yeah.
Or at least resemble like the Game of Thrones version of dire wolves.
Yeah.
think about that. Well, here's the thing: animals go extinct for a reason.
Yeah.
So I don't. Even if they can bring them back, I don't think they could just drop them in the wild and they'll be okay. Because the world they were able to survive in doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So if they're creating them just to live in zoos, we'll see what happens. Because I don't know, even how cost effective this is. A lot of people are saying the whole direwolf thing was just PR to get more investors.
Yeah.
Because
that's interesting. That is. Interesting.
I don't know how it's going to be. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be regulated because
that's the worry.
A T-Rex gets loose, that's the.
That'll be disaster. It'll be Jurassic Park again, so.
Yeah, because it's that. I don't know how much this stuff would cost, and what kind of return on investment you can get. The one thing I'm kind of worried about is if they get to a point where you can make a Bigfoot in a lab.
Yeah.
And then the whole argument of whether or not Bigfoot exists is kind of meaningless now.
Yeah.
Because any Bigfoot they find, they'll just say, "Oh, it was a lab-grown one."
Yeah.
So that's if we get to that point, we would never really actually be able to settle the Bigfoot debate.
Yep. Interesting.
And the other thing I wonder is, because you know what the Tasmanian tiger is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're said to have gone extinct back in the 30s. There are still plenty of sightings of them. I think they're still around. It's just, very remote areas. They're one of the more mundane cryptids. They're also on the short list for animals that they want to bring back.
Yeah.
How are the surviving specimens gonna react to seeing the lab-grown ones? That's something.
I mean, that's assuming if the animals know what that even is. That's the thing. They'll just assume that it's just another part of their group or clan or whatever. That's the thing, right? So
yeah, I don't know. Would they be able to tell the difference? Because they cloned a sheep back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Valley of the sheep. So it's scary stuff. We'll have to see how that situation develops.
Yeah, for sure. What's your favorite food?
Okay, yeah, this is going to affect the entire fate of the world. Yeah, what's your favorite food? Gosh, let me think. We got a pretty basic cheeseburgers.
Yes. Yeah.
Like a good cheeseburger. Buffalo Wild Wings. Nothing too crazy.
Is there a restaurant you go to? Like a go-to restaurant in New Jersey? That's good?
So I'm on the East Coast, so we have Shake Shack, but I just went there. It's gone downhill.
Yeah.
It's not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, that's what you hear.
What about you?
Oh my god, there's so many. I mean, there's a lot of, granted, I mean, as a Muslim, I'm not permitted to eat non-halal stuff. There's alcohol, drugs, non-halal meat. So my choices are limited, but there are some really good restaurants. Here, I think Burger Factory is is the go best burger joint. There's a fish and chips place, Country's Fish and Chips because I live in Port Credit, Mississauga. It's literally on the shoreline of Lake Ontario. Yeah. That's a really good place. There's a lot of cookie places I really like. But there's this Danish pastry place in Sherwood Gardens. That's the go. They have the best croissants and chocolate bread stuff and all everything in between. Another place I really like is Potato Bar. So there's this plaza on Ridgeway. That's kind of near the highway, right? But it's far away from downtown Mississauga, right? And it has the best poutine, best fries, period in Mississauga. Maybe even beyond that. But my all-time favorite restaurant is Caravan. It's an Afghani restaurant, but their burgers are incredible. Their fries are great. Even their condiments taste great. I mean, I'm not even a ketchup guy, Well, whenever I'm there, I'm dipping my fries in that ketchup, bro. I'm double dipping, I'm triple dipping. I'm like, tastes really good. And they're kebabs and rice, and that stuff is el perfecto. So yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Who was your celebrity crush or younger or even now?
No, we're not doing that one.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We're not doing that one.
Yeah. Yeah, do you have one or you don't or
Nope. There are some things I'll keep to myself.
Okay. Okay. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. You know, I mean, I kind of told you a couple of them. There's a couple. There's Lupita Luongo. I really like
Sounds
that.
like you've told enough for both of us.
Yeah. I really love Margaret Qualley. My Hawk. Sophie Thatcher from Yellow Jackets. Hey, watch Yellow Jackets?
No, is that like Taylor Sheridan?
I don't think so. I don't think he runs that show.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different show then.
You mean Yellowstone? I mean, that was Yellowstone.
No. I'm thinking of something else.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking of something completely different then.
Yeah, so, I mean, I have lots. I mean, Bella Ramsey, for some reason, I really like.
Thanks for keeping me in the loop.
Yeah. What's your favorite video games?
I'm not a...
Okay.
I've never been a huge gamer, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm more of like a mobile guy. I like Polytopia. I don't know if you would.
Yeah, I heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, one of my buddies put me onto that. I'll play with him. He always destroys me.
Alright.
I beat him a couple of times.
Okay.
And then, this...
Hello?
developer called Matt.
Yeah.
He makes these... What? Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I heard of it, yeah. I haven't played it, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like... they're like mobile games. They basically just let you create, like, chaos.
Yeah.
And like the most insane games. So I like
You haven't played Plague Inc. or what is it called?
Haven't played what?
Plague Inc.
Is that the one where like you start a disease in one country?
No, it's like a virus. You start like some virus, you try to kill the world in the quickest time, something like that.
Yeah, I played that.
Okay.
Or I think I played the off-brand actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the ones called like Infection Biowar or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only ever played the knockoff.
Alright, have you ever encountered a witch?
Not that I know of.
But you must have seen them, right? Or seen them in the forest or whatever?
I've encountered some people where I wouldn't be surprised, also.
Can you tell me a little story if you were open to that? Or?
No, nothing. Nothing serious.
Alright.
Like that.
Have you seen anyone walk like in a robe or something like that? Like kind of apprehensive, you know, like.
I don't think so. Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Wow. Who's the most famous person that said, "Hey, man, I like your work," or "I love your work," or whatever?
Most famous person. The History Channel, they actually bought a clip from me.
What?
So, yeah, they aired it on TV.
Whoa, you gotta... Because I saw that on your bio, and I was kind of confused about that, but, like, how? How does that even happen? Did they pay you?
Yeah.
Ow.
It wasn't, like, crazy money, but, so you know
Wow.
how they do, it's kind of like that show with William Shatner that you were talking about.
Yeah.
They'll have, like, 4 different, videos showing something unexplained.
Wow.
And they'll bring in some experts. So yeah, it was 2021. They just emailed me, said, "Hey, could we license this?" And I signed all the paper. It was one of those. And they made me sign so many things, and because it was like documents, I had to read through all of it. But they aired it back in early 2022.
Yeah.
It was on a show called The Proof Is Out There.
Yeah.
So I got paid $300 for that.
Wow.
Then there were 2 shows with the Travel Channel where they actually had similar deals, but those didn't. And one of the shows just ended before they aired that. That was Ozzy Osbourne and his family has a show. Yeah, that one just ended up not airing.
Yeah. And
then there's another one where they take a lot of people for this, so it could just be, they haven't gotten around to me yet, but I don't know. But that was on Travel. So yeah, History Channel is probably the biggest off the top of my head. There's a few people within like the paranormal space where they're just bigger than me, but there's no like A-lister celebrity. Turn it to the other side.
Damn.
Between scenes.
That's crazy. That is crazy. How does History Channel even know who you are? How did they just type just paranormal stuff and they just sifted through it until they find your channel? They hit you up on something like that?
My best guess, honestly, is because the History Channel reached out to me, then like a few weeks later the Travel Channel reached out to me.
Yeah.
So just based off of who was reaching out, I guess they have like people whose jobs where it's basically just to find footage that they can use for these shows.
Yeah.
And the Bigfoot video I got like 2 million views on TikTok. I think it got like at that point like something over 10,000 views on on YouTube rather.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess they just like search Bigfoot footage and then go by uploaded within the past month or past year or whatever.
Yeah.
And they contacted me. I was very, very happy to do business with them.
All right.
And then the story of how Journey to the Other Side was on the History Channel.
Damn. Wow. Interesting. Do you live by yourself? Are you with someone? Are you open to
I don't give away a lot about my personal life.
All right, okay. I'm just checking.
Yeah, no, no worries.
All right. All right. So we're nearing the end of the interview. So we're gonna play this little game. Have you heard of Drink Champs?
No, I've not.
So it's like a hip hop podcast, and it's run by this guy named Noreaga. He used to be like, he was kind of like a star back in the day, but now he's a friend. He's friends with a lot of these like rappers and stuff. So usually what he does when he has a guest over, he usually does a Q&A session where essentially he gives you, again, 2 artists or 2 franchises or 2 whatever. You have to pick either or. The difference is you can't say both, you can't say neither, and obviously we're not drinking. So, okay.
You're a Muslim and I'm a Baptist, so I kind of pieced that one.
I lost my train of thought. So, we'll probably. So you're gonna have to pick one, obviously. And
okay.
Are you open to that? You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. All right. Okay. Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac lives.
All right. Okay. Thunderbird or Mermaid?
Do you mean the cryptid, the Thunderbird?
Yeah, cryptid, yeah.
Ooh. I don't think mermaids are real, but I
Okay. Bigfoot or Yeti?
Bigfoot's from America, so you gotta go with Bigfoot.
Okay. Okay.
Gotta rep your own country.
Okay. Okay. Christopher Nolan or Stanley Kubrick?
Kubrick.
Okay. 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 Darren Aronofsky or David Fincher?
Let me think. I'll say Fincher.
Okay. Okay. Tom Cruise or Jackie Chan?
Tom Cruise.
Okay. Okay. So one thing is, okay, so I forgot to tell you, but if you want to tell a story or a reason why you picked, you're free to do that. Okay, so
Okay.
all right,
Yeah.
okay, all right, Patrick Mahomes or Peyton Manning?
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, okay, Lamar Jackson or Drew Brees?
Drew Brees.
Okay, okay, Josh Allen or John Elway?
I'm a Bills fan.
Okay,
Josh Allen.
all right, okay, okay, Mike Evans or Devontae Adams?
Say Mike Evans.
Okay. Okay. Jared Goff or Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott.
Alright, okay. Aikman or Romo?
Romo.
Alright. Okay. Interesting. Um Tom Brady or Michael Jordan?
Two of the GOATs.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Okay. 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 Um hmm. Kendrick Lamar or Kanye West?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'll say Kendrick Lamar.
You pick Kendrick?
I mean,
Okay. Alright. Drake or Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne.
Okay. Alright. Billie Eilish or Lana Del Rey?
Lana.
Okay. Beyonce or Prince?
Beyonce.
Wow. Okay. Frank Sinatra or Michael Jackson?
From New Jersey, so. Frank Sinatra.
Okay. 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 Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Saw?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay. 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 The Ring or Scream?
Dream.
Okay. Okay. Megan Fox or Millie Bobby Brown?
I haven't seen too much stuff with either. I think I saw the first Transformers movie.
Yeah.
Megan Fox.
Okay. Zack Snyder or Michael Bay?
Michael Bay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Woolly mammoth or elephant?
Woolly Mammoth.
Okay. Okay.
You had to pick the weirder one.
Okay. Batman or Spider-Man?
Batman.
Okay. Nightwing or Red Hood?
Nightwing.
Deathstroke or Deadshot?
Deathstroke all the way.
Okay. Terra or Beast Boy?
Oh, man. Beast Boy.
Okay. Okay. Flash or Cyborg?
Flash.
Okay. Okay. Matt Damon or Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck.
Okay. Coen Brothers or Quentin Tarantino?
I'll say Tarantino.
Okay. Wow. Spielberg or Scorsese?
Spielberg.
Okay.
I'm a popcorn movie guy.
Yeah. Al Pacino or Rob De Niro?
Al Pacino.
Okay. Okay. Keanu Reeves or Bruce Willis?
Bruce Willis.
Okay.
Also from New Jersey, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Joseph Kaczynski or M. Night Shyamalan?
Going back to, part of the reason I picked Bruce Willis is because I really like Unbreakable, so I'll say Shyamalan.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Florence Pugh or Kate Winslet?
Winslet.
Okay. Leonardo DiCaprio or Marlon Brando? Okay. Okay. Um, witch or wizard?
Isn't a witch just a female wizard?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think.
I'm a guy, so I guess I'll say wizard.
All right. Okay. Grant Morrison or Neil Gaiman?
Oh, oh my God. Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison.
Okay. Okay. McDonald's or Burger King?
Never been to McDonald's, so Burger King.
Wow. Okay.
I'm the only person in America.
Okay. Starbucks or Tim Hortons?
Tim Hortons has donuts, so Tim Hortons.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z.
Okay. DMX or Jadakiss?
DMX.
Okay. Okay. KRS-One or Rakim?
Who?
KRS-One or
What?
Rakim? They're like rappers from like during like the start and golden era of hip hop.
Rockin'.
Okay. ASAP Rocky or Travis Scott?
Travis Scott was at WrestleMania, so.
Okay. Kid Cudi or Isaiah Rashad?
And Cudi.
Okay. Okay. Daft Punk or Aphex Twin?
Daft Punk.
Alright. Kaytranada or Flume?
Bloom.
Alright. Arca or Kazakhstan?
Arca.
Okay, wow. Okay. Jenna Ortega or Sadie Sink?
Jenna Ortega has done slashers, so I'll give it to her.
Okay. 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 Haley Steinfeld or Amy Adams?
I'm a Bills fan, so I guess I gotta pick Haley Steinfeld.
Okay. Okay. Trent Williams or Deion Dawkins?
Trent Williams.
Okay. Alright. Aaron Donald or Lawrence Taylor?
Oh, Lawrence Taylor was at WrestleMania, so I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
He main evented WrestleMania 9.
Yeah. Yeah. Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson?
Ooh, okay, this one I actually gotta think. I gotta say Muhammad Ali.
Okay. Okay. Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather?
Ooh. Who won when they boxed each other?
I think so,
I'll say Pacquiao just because he never boxed.
Alright. Yeah. Okay. GSP or McGregor?
GSP.
Okay. Okay. Bill Murray or Robert Downey Jr.?
Ooh. I'll say Bill Murray.
Okay. Okay. Adam Sandler or Kevin James?
Adam Sandler.
Okay. 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 Travis Kelce or Terry Holt?
Travis Kelce.
Alright. Okay. Thinking. Jalen Hurts or Justin Herbert?
Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey?
Saquon.
Okay. Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons?
Miles.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Julio Jones or Tyreek Hill? Peak.
Tyreek.
Alright. Wow. Okay. Justin Jefferson or Antonio Brown? Peak.
Antonio Brown.
Okay. Barry Sanders or Emmett Smith?
Barry Sanders.
Alright, okay. Um, um, hamburgers or pizza?
Ooh. The reason I love lasagna is it's like a combination of both. But well, hamburgers or cheeseburgers? Because there's a.
It's all like
If it's just hamburgers. It's just hamburgers, I have to say pizza.
Okay. Okay. Cookies or cake?
Cake is overrated.
That'll be another video, you know. Wow. Raven from Teen Titans or Gwen from Total Drama Island?
That's a Raven.
Okay. Um, Thanos or Darkseid?
Dark side, not even close.
Okay. Okay.
That is.
Alright, okay. Joker or Loki?
Joker.
Alright, okay.
I'm more of a DC guy than a Marvel
Okay.
guy.
Riddler or Two-Face?
I'd say Riddler just because there aren't really that many Two-Face stories. Though.
Yeah. There are.
He's really just... Two-Face really just exists for there to be an extra guy whenever they do something where it shows like all of Batman's rogues gallery.
Yep.
He doesn't really stand on his own that well, in my opinion.
Batgirl or Catwoman?
Catwoman.
Okay. Harley Quinn or Poison Ivy?
Ooh. Harley Quinn.
Alright. Okay. James Gunn or Sam Raimi?
Sam Raimi.
Okay.
Like myself some Evil Dead.
Yeah. Okay. Tom Holland or Tobey Maguire?
As Spider-Man or in general?
Just general.
Tom Holland. Yeah, no, Tobey Maguire.
Okay. Marvel or DC?
DC.
Alright, okay. Show. SpongeBob or Teen Titans?
Oh. Depends on my... In terms of something, I actually think SpongeBob if I were to like throw something on right now.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Regular show or Amazing World Gumball?
Amazing World of Gumball.
Oh wow. Okay. Stranger Things or Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
Okay. Sopranos or Breaking Bad?
I'm from New Jersey, so I gotta say Sopranos.
Better Call Saul or The Wire?
Wire.
Derrick Henry or Eric Dickerson?
Derrick Henry.
Okay.
You ever watch his high school highlights?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Dude, it's literally
It's like, damn.
like
Felt bad for those kids, man.
he had like 4,000. He had a 4,000 yard season.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Not
crazy.
even playing sync.
Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre?
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. Interesting. Jordan Love or Kyle Murray?
Jordan Love.
Huh?
Jordan Love.
Alright, okay. Thinking. Deion Sanders or Randy Moss? Peak.
Randy Moss.
All right. Okay. Sean McDermott or Kyle Shanahan right now?
Kyle Shanahan.
Okay. Andy Reid or Bill Walsh?
Andy Reid.
Okay. Bill Belichick or Phil Jackson?
Bill Belichick.
Okay. Larry Fitzgerald or Terrell Owens?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Okay. Interesting. Jamar Chase or Chat Ocho Cinco Johnson?
Jamar Chase.
Okay. CeeDee Lamb or Michael Irvin? Peak.
Michael Irvin.
Alright. Okay. Interesting. Joe Burrow or Eli Manning?
Eli Manning.
Alright. Okay. Interesting. Kite Man or Polka Dot Man?
Okay, now we're asking the real questions.
Yeah.
Polka Dot Man.
Okay. Interesting. Pandora or Jinx?
What? No, I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
So, Pandora's a DC character. She had like a whole comic.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jinx, Teen Titans was a
Jinx.
villain.
Yeah, Jinx. I just didn't hear that.
Okay. Captain America or Hulk?
Hulk.
Alright. Okay. Black Widow or Black Canary?
Canary.
Alright, okay. Let's see. Kingpin or Black Mask?
Ooh. I'm actually going to have to go with Kingpin here. I feel.
Okay.
Black Mask is... Yeah, he just doesn't have... He doesn't really have anything.
Alright, interesting. Toronto or Chicago as cities?
Chicago.
Huh?
Chicago.
Okay. Thinking. Doctor Doom or
Dr.
Reverse
Doom.
Flash?
I didn't even need to hear the second option, Dr. Doom.
Okay. Galactus or Sandman?
Galactus.
Okay. Let's see. Roman Polanski or Woody Allen?
Neither. Dude, what?
Yeah. That's okay. Denzel Washington or Samuel L. Jackson?
Ooh. Denzel.
Okay. Tom Hanks or Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman.
Okay. John David Washington or Jack Quaid?
Jack Quaid.
Okay. Interesting. Lamborghini or Ferrari?
Ferrari.
Alright. Aston Martin or McLaren?
Back in the day, I actually promised a guy I knew that when I become a billionaire, I'll buy him an Aston Martin. So we'll go with Aston Martin.
Wow, okay. Anthony Edwards or Donovan Mitchell? These are NBA players.
Anthony Edwards.
Okay. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Giannis?
Giannis.
Wow. Okay. Jokic or Shaq?
Jack.
All right.
He's got the
Kawhi
game
or
checked it.
huh?
What?
Oh, sorry.
I said I gotta pick him because of Shaq Fu.
All right. Kevin Durant or Kawhi Leonard?
Kawhi Leonard.
Oh wow. Okay. Russell Westbrook or Chris Paul?
Chris Paul.
Okay. James Harden or Dwayne Wade?
Dwayne Wade.
All right. Bill Russell or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay. Gil Scott-Heron or Bob Dylan?
Bob Dylan.
All right. Okay. Freddie Mercury or John Lennon?
Freddie Mercury.
Taylor Swift or Paul McCartney?
Taylor Swift.
Wow. Okay. Madonna or Bob Marley?
Bob Marley.
Wow. Okay. Akon or Don Toliver?
Akon.
Okay. Future or Young Thug?
Future.
Okay. Playboy Cardi or Lil Uzi Vert?
Uzi.
Lil Uzi Vert, Cardi, they're like trap rappers?
Yeah, no, I said Uzi.
Okay.
Lil Uzi.
Alright, okay. 50 Cent or T.I.?
50 Cent.
Okay. Clips or Mobb Deep?
Mobb Deep.
Okay. Outkast or Beatles?
Ooh. Outcast.
Okay. Nirvana or Linkin Park?
Nirvana.
Kurt Cobain or Chester Bennington?
Kurt Cobain.
Okay. Imagine Dragons or Nickelback?
Nickelback.
Okay. Wow. Pharrell or Timbaland?
What? Sorry, repeat the question.
Pharrell or Timbaland?
Pharrell.
Okay. Metro Booming or Michael Made It?
Michael made it.
Alright. Miley Cyrus or Olivia Rodrigo?
Ooh, Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay, wow. Okay. Let's think. Snoop Dogg or Wiz Khalifa?
Snoop Dogg.
Okay. Portishead or Magistar?
Magistar.
Okay. Okay. Arcade Fire or Tragically Hip?
Arcade Fire.
Okay. Okay. G.I.D. or J. Cole?
G.I.D.
Alright. Big Sean or French Montana?
Fresh Montana.
Wow. Okay. Logic or Macklemore?
Logic.
Alright. Okay. Night Lovell or Sean Leon?
Leon.
Wow. Okay. Charlie XCX or Rita Ora?
Rita Ora, just because of the time she tweeted that if she got 100,000 retweets, she'd release music.
And she didn't reach it, yeah.
Yeah, I feel she needs to win.
Yeah. Ray or Iggy Azalea?
Iggy Azalea.
Alright. Nicki Minaj or Missy Elliott?
Nicki Minaj.
Oh, wow. I was thinking. SZA or Whitney Houston?
Whitney Houston.
Ariana Grande or Mariah Carey?
Mariah Carey.
Okay. Messi or Ronaldo?
Ooh. Ronaldo.
Wow, okay. Zlatan or Robert Lewandowski?
Robert Lewandowski.
Okay. Harry Kane or Al Shearer?
Alex Sheeran.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Thurman Thomas or O.J. Simpson?
Not O.J. Simpson.
Okay. Bruce Smith or Reggie White?
Reggie White.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Um. Peak. Cam Newton or Michael Vick?
Cam Newton.
Okay. Jaden Daniels or Robin Griffin III?
And Daniels.
Okay. Baker Mayfield or C.J. Stroud?
Baker Mayfield.
Okay. Okay. Luke Kuechly or DeMarcus Ware? Peak.
DeMarcus Ware.
Okay. 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 James Cook or Najee Harris?
James Cook.
All right. Okay. Aquaman or Namor?
Aquaman.
Okay. Okay. Black Manta or Killmonger?
Black Manta.
Okay. Daredevil or Robin?
Robin.
Alright. Okay. Project Pat or Juicy J?
Juicy J.
Okay. DJ Paul or DJ Screw?
DJ Paul.
Okay, wow. Pusha T or Mos Def?
Most Def.
Okay. Eminem or Elvis Presley?
Elvis. Still alive.
Huh?
Elvis is still alive.
Anne Hathaway or Michelle Pfeiffer?
Oh, both played Catwoman.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway.
Oh, okay. Jason Tatum or Paul Pierce?
Paul Pierce.
Okay. Anthony Davis or Kevin Garnett?
Anthony Davis.
Wow. Okay. Hakeem Olajuwon or Steph Curry?
Steph Curry.
All right. Okay. Magic Johnson or Larry Bird?
Larry Bird.
All right. Okay. Dark Knight or Avengers Endgame?
Oh. Definitely depends on the mood I'm in.
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
Okay. Dark Knight Rises or Captain America Winter Soldier?
Dark Knight Rises.
Okay. Man of Steel or Thor: The Dark World?
Oh. Yeah, Thor: The Dark World was at least kind of fun.
Okay.
There's also that one.
Okay. Second last one. Last of Us or GTA?
GTA.
All right. Last one. Subway or bus?
Subway. Oh, you mean the
Transportation, yeah.
Subway.
All right. Bonus one. Plane or car?
Oh.
Okay. And okay. And double bonus one. Bonus one. I'm thinking. Set off this. Freddie Gibbs or Jake Beck Mafia?
Freddie Gibbs.
Okay. Yeah, that's the end of the interview.
All right.
Yeah, it was a real pleasure speaking to you, and I'm rooting for you. I hope you keep growing as you keep growing. You know. So I really appreciate it. I didn't think. Cause I remember I sent out the email like it was almost a month ago, and you recently responded to it. I initially I didn't know who it was until I had to search it up myself. But yeah, I kind of like these type of things. I kind of get used to getting rejected or not responded to. But I really appreciate you responding to it, and yeah.
Glad that you asked. Had a really good time talking with you today.
Yeah, for sure. Have a nice day.
You too. See ya.
See ya. That is another episode of the Renegade podcast. If you guys enjoyed, same way I enjoyed putting this one together.